Hello there. This might be of no interest to anyone in the entire world. Started a bit scraping my ear. But I like watching people go through their vinyl. So I thought somebody might like to watch me going through it. So that's what I'm going to do. First, a little introduction as to where the collection is and everything. Basically, 1981, when I was 10, was my first pop cassette. And then shortly after that, in sort of early 82, I went to records, which carried on till around 86, I think. And then it was cassettes through to 92, with a few exceptions, a few records here and there, which you'll see in the late 80s. Then it was CDs, full stop, from 92 onwards, until downloads and all that malarkey. Apart from early 2000s, when I briefly got into records again, and you'll see those ones as they come up. And then 2020-ish, 2020 definitely, actually, I can pinpoint it. I eventually started collecting records again. So after in the early days collecting CD versions of things I originally had on record, I'm now getting records of things I got on CD, which makes no sense whatsoever. But anyway, I'm not alone in being like that. So I'll let you know as I go through these records sort of what era they are, if you know what I mean. Whether they're originals, whether they're reissues, etc., etc. This is a reissue. I originally had this on CD. Air's first proper album, Moon Safari. And I got this one quite recently at a record fair. It was new and quite cheap, comparatively. So that's Talkie Walkie, probably my second or third favourite Air album. This I also got from a record fair. Only been to record fairs, first time this year. Never been to record fairs before. And this is second hand, but you can't tell because it's really good quality. I originally had this on cassette. This is from the late 80s. This is Age of Chance. 10,000 Years of Trouble. 1,000 Years of Trouble. I ought to say what they are, oughtn't I? That's something to remember. This was also bought as a reissue. This will be CD era. This is the Richard D. James album, Aphex Twin. This next one is also CD era. But I did actually buy it at the time on record as well, because it's a different running order. So this is from the early noughties. A different running order. This Aphex Twin Drugs. And it's a double CD. But on record, it's got 4 records. And some play at 45, some play at... And it's awkwardly shaped, as you can see. That's Aphex Twin Drugs. This is a recent one. My favourite Ash album is actually Intergalactic Sonic 7 Inches, but this is the closest to it, so I've got a compilation on the kind of HMV 2/4 whatever. So that's the only Ash album I've got on vinyl. It's the only Beach Boys album I've got on vinyl. Beach Boys Pet Sounds. Beatles. These are all originally cassettes and then CDs for Beatles. So Help is one of my favourite early albums of theirs. And I was very pleased when I saw this. It's everywhere now, but I think for a while it wasn't available. The Yellow Submarine album on vinyl, which is one of my favourite remixes. I had to get the White album because it's my favourite Beatles album on vinyl. So this is the remaster, which is maybe not as good. Old record sound specialists. It still sounds good to me. Got this at a record fair recently. Probably my favourite compilation. Past Masters. It's got the B-sides and everything. Kind of need to get Yellow Submarine now, so then I've got the complete lot, if you know what I mean. Not Yellow Submarine, sorry. Magical Mystery Tour. And I've got this compilation as well. This is maybe one of the first Beatles compilations. I got... not a perfect compilation, but I thought it'd be nice to have. I got this before I got Past Masters. I might not have got this if I'd got Past Masters first. If you know what I mean. It's the only Beastie Boys record I've got. Again, CD era. I've got... My favourite compilation is Music, but the vinyl of that actually has it in chronological order, whereas the compilation has a really good mix. This ain't bad. Got loads of good stuff on it. This is from the original record buying period. I remember buying this in HMV London. Very excited in 80s. So this is when I was listening to John Peel and Andy Kershaw. This is Shabini, the Bundu Boys, their first British album. This is also from late 80s. I liked Crack Attack, but I never really like the album that much, to be honest with you. This is Big Stick, Crack and Drag. Bought from Record Store in, it used to call Record Store, I think, in Amersham. This is the only Bjork representation at the moment. I really liked her early albums, post. But I sort of went off it. Vespertine went off Bjork a little bit. Björk, sorry, saying her name wrong. Björk. This is an original album from the 80s. Bluebell Sisters. I'm Falling and all that on there. A reissue I bought. Probably my favourite David Bowie album, I think. An obvious choice, I know, but I've listened to them all, and this is my favourite. Ziggy Stardust. This is from the era. So this is Pay No More Than $2.99. Life's Right with Spy vs. Spy, a bit knackered. My favourite albums of his I had on cassette, which I'm going to come to in a minute, actually, because this is the first ever one I bought when I'd already got the original. Kind of going, oh, should I buy the original? But this is from Record Store. This is a Record Store day one, and this had a live version on the back. And I like the idea of all the songs being on one side and stuff. So I got it, didn't I? This I got from a record fair. This is also second hand, same place I got the Age of Chance one, and also very good quality. This is my favourite Billy Bragg album. So I already had it on cassette and CD. And now I've got it on vinyl as well. I've got the complete set. This is an old album of mine. I remember, look, sort of knackered. This is Age of Chance? It's not Age of Chance, it's Bronski Beat. Bronski Beat, The Age of Consent. This is one of my favourite albums. This was also Record Store Day one, but I got it after Record Store Day. This is before I was going to Record Store Days. Didn't go to the last one, actually. Because this is the original version. Unfortunately, the mainstream release of this is his resung version. And one of the best bits about this album is his voice. I like his original voice. Obviously, he doesn't. So try and get the Record Store Day one if you can. That's the best version of that. And because I like that album so much and the B-sides, I also bought this. So one record is the original B-sides and the other record are the re-recorded B-sides. That's a Record Store Day. Here's a gross cover. It's the Butthole Surfers, Hairway to Stephen. Oh, no, that's not the cover. That's the other side. That's the cover. I like the first song on this, but I don't really... I think all the songs are represented by symbols. So, don't know what any of them are called. CD era again, 90s. This is Cardigan's first album, Emmerdale. And Cardigan's second album. This is the original Swedish version of, what's it called? Life. I would like to get the album after this, but it's really expensive and not available at the moment, so I've not got that. This is from the 80s again. This is Carmel, The Drum Is Everything. I'm picking at these as I'm picking them up, so I'm actually breaking them so I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to test how bad they are. So that's Carmel, The Drum Is Everything. This is also, I asked my mum to buy this when I was doing a saxophone lesson. Well, I bought it, my money, but she had to go and ask for it. I bought this mainly because of Elvis Costello's version of Sweet Dreams, which it turns out he wasn't doing a cover of Patsy Cline's version. But I fell in love with Patsy Cline from this album. Got a box set of her stuff later. I also got this one as well, which has a lot of the same songs, but some different ones. And had lots of cassettes of hers as well. This, I've been tempted to buy a new version of this, but this is the original. Not bought at the time, because I would have been a bit too young. So I would have got this, but I think I got this in the 80s at some point. This is Elvis Costello, Get Happy. One of my favourite albums of Elvis Costello. Oh, in fact, these are all my favourite albums of Elvis Costello. Almost Blue is another of my favourites, because I like the country stuff. That was also bought, I don't know when I bought that. Not at the time again, but maybe late 80s, something like that. Punch Clock I did buy at the time. I didn't like it when I first bought it, but it grew on me as I got older. And this I got at the time. This is kind of the one that made me in the major Elvis Costello fan. This is the compilation. Elvis Costello, The Man. I roar this out. I love this. I love that compilation. I got this from a charity shop before the record boom. So it would have been maybe noughties. but I fancy getting it on record just because it's one of my favorite albums, and doesn't it look good? I'm not even sure I've ever played this because I don't know if I had a record player at the time. So I think it's good quality. I should play that. This is one I bought in the early 2020s, when I started buying old favorites. So it's another old favorite Elvis Costello album. This is from the 80s, from the originals. This is The Cure, The Head on the Door. Head on the Door. This is also bought at the time, introducing the hard line according to Terence Trent D'Arby. I actually preferred his second album, which I had on cassette. This is not from the time, but so this was a reissue that I was given and I got for a Christmas present, and I asked for lots of vinyl in 2020 when I finally bought a new record player. So yeah, I had this on bootleg cassette in the early 80s, one of my favorites. My dad used to get some cassettes because he used to do work in places like Sri Lanka. This is from one of my earlier records. This is the original 2IA. I've not yet bought 2IA As It Should Have Sounded, the new reissue, but I have heard it on the old Spotify. This I got very recently from the local record shop. It's an old record store day one, which I hadn't seen before, so I thought I'd snap it up. It wasn't too bad either. And this is their recent album. My favourite album I don't have on record, Don't Stand Me Down. It's probably my favourite album of all time. The Butler's very close, but I don't have that on record. Apparently there isn't really a very good vinyl reissue of that yet. Hopefully that will come out at some point, but I don't have that yet. This is their recent album, One Day I'm Going to Saw, and here's their even more recent album, most recent in my collection. It's signed by Kevin, but I think most of the records are signed. And this is the Spotify Orange. I didn't show you the colour of the Bernard Butlers. The Bernard Butler colours were white. I think that's the only coloured vinyl I haven't shown you. And that's part one. Ooh, have I put that in right? Put that in right. I might pause the video at this point. Here I am, part two. This was bought at the time. That's Dire Straits, Love Over Gold. Not really a typical thing that I was buying at the time. You'll see my early records are more kind of up-tempo, poppy type stuff. But I really like Private Investigations. Actually, I've got another record that's kind of proppy as well coming up, so I had interesting taste. Oh, I put them down that way, haven't I? Oh, I'm going to have to resort all my records after this. Okay, this is another original. This is Thomas Dolby, The Flat Earth. Record's falling out there. I loved Hyperactive. Got that on single as well. And I bought the album. Oh, this very kindly Ian Lee gave me. Basically, he put up something on the Zilch Facebook page saying, anybody want my old Band 6s? I'll post them to you for free. And I said, oh, yes, I do. Band 6 was an old UK fanzine for the Monkees. And because at the time, I've moved since, but he lived close to me, he bought them all over and then bought me a load of free stuff as well. So at the time, I didn't have a record player. So it's partly this sort of stuff that made me think, because I thought, isn't it beautiful? Because I had this on CD, but I didn't have it on record, this one. And I thought, oh, I need to buy a record. Need to buy a new record player. My old record player was in storage and it started warping. It's actually a decent one. It's Technics. It was good. The one I got now is not, not as good, but it's pretty reasonable. I'm happy with it. So that's that one. And here's another one Ian Lee gave me. This is a picture disc. Mickey Dolenz Out of Nowhere. Isn't that beautiful? There you go. That's a live album from his record label 7A. This is my sister's. Some of the records. This is a record that I liked, that my sister also liked, and her husband, it turned out, liked as well. So they already had 2 copies, but I inherited this copy. These are recent reissues again. I love the fall from around mid-80s to, well, first thing would be Friends Experiments. That's sort of late 80s. That's when I was in my sort of India period. But obviously I went back and collected all these on cassette and CD and everything. Now I've got it on vinyl. So this is This Nation's Saving Grace, which comes with Yarbles Revisited, which is a load of A-sides and B-sides from the era. And this has the A-sides and B-sides of the era on the double record. So this is the full Ben Sinister. This is the full The Friends Experiment. I mean, that's all I've got at the moment. I would like to get more. I put there's a load of records I want now. They're all coming out for Christmas. So my wish list has got bigger, and I know what I'm going to be asking for Christmas. I'm having to save money at the moment, so the records have stopped for a bit. This is I used to go to HMV in London specifically to buy Prince Protégé's albums because they weren't available in normal record shops. I could have ordered them, but I was never a one for ordering. So I went to HMV and I got this import, which is the Family's album. This is actually my favourite Prince side project. I really like the songs on this. And I always kind of imagined it was done at the same time as Parade. It was actually done before Around the World in a Day, I think, if I remember rightly from reading the Prince Sessions book. But he used the orchestration of Claire Fisher, which he then used on Parade, which really elevates this. So it's a really good album, that. This was bought at the time. Frankie Goes to Hollywood's Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. Oh, I'm showing you that. This is a Record Store Day release. This is the Best of Fun Boy 3. It's coloured vinyl, so I should show you the vinyl, shouldn't I? There you go. It's green. Isn't that nice? That's the best of. Okay, in the early 10s, I discovered a new band to me, which I really fell in love with. So I got all their records on CD. Basically, I discovered them via Spotify. It was the first sort of Spotify discovery. And then in the early 2020s, I collected them all on vinyls. Here they all are. So this is the most complete collection. So Funkadelic, that's the first album. Second album, Funkadelic. Boop. That's Free Your Mind. And the S will follow. Maggot Brain. The beautiful albums, these. Oh, the other one's over here, because I was listening to it just earlier. So that's America Eats Its Young. And it's Cosmic Slop. They're doing the Cosmic Slop. Would you like to dance with me? We're doing the Cosmic Slop. And then Standing on the Verge of Getting It On. And then Let's Take It to the Stage. And then Tales of Kid Funkadelic. And these have been reissued very recently. So this is, I wasn't able to get the last 4 of this era. I'm able to get them just recently. Hardcore Jollies. One Nation Under a Groove. Includes the EP as a 12-inch. Uncle Jam Wants You. You! Uncle Jam Wants You, wants you! Funkadelic Electric Spanking of War Babies. Okay, that ends the Funkadelic collection. This is, again, an original 80s purchase. That's Genesis. The Genesis album. I got this because I really like Mama. I like That's All as well at the time. I know, I like the Legal Alien, even though that's quite a dodgy record. My mum got me this from a charity shop. I like the goodies. And I didn't know what these songs were at the first, but it turns out they're all from early Goodies episodes, which I hadn't actually seen at the time. So quite a lot from the Superstar special, Series 2, and goes up to like Series 4, because it's got Taking You Back. Show Me the Way is a lovely song on that. And then I got this from a car boot in the 10s, I reckon, probably. So it's another Goodies album. This is an original, a bit knackered, because I played this one to death. This is Hayes Fantasy. It also came with a free, actually I won't show you that because it's got nudity, booklet. I saw nude things when I was 12. That's Hayes Fantasy, Battle Hymns for Children Singing. 12, 13, something like that. It's also from the era, Janet Jackson Control. I think that's more in the cassette era. So as I said, occasionally I'd buy things on record when, I don't know. I tended to buy more R&B stuff on record. I don't know. Don't ask me. This is a reissue. I love the G's and Mary Chain. The only thing I've got on them on vinyl so far is the compilation. 21 singles. Psycho Candy and Darklands. Maybe Predictor. Oh, and Stoned and Dethroned. They're my favourites. This is, again, original record. You can probably tell. Jets. I love this kind of stuff at the time. Love Makes the World Go Round. Yes Tonight, Josephine. And as people who see me in Top of the Bob stream, no, I still quite like that kind of stuff. Joe Boxers. This is obviously original album. Not obviously, because I think it's been reissued recently, hasn't it? This is an original album. Not even bad nick, this, considering I played it so often. So that's their first album. Second album, I'm sure the second album didn't come out, but apparently it did. But if it did, I missed it. This is Grace Jones, Island Life. I really like this album. This was bought at the time as well. The Vion Rose, though, I played too much and it scratched the buggery. So it's of no little or no value now. Another Prince Protege. Did I get this from London or did I might have got this one with Controversy Fan Club. I can't remember now. Anyway, that's Jill Jones. That's from the late 80s period, I think. I got that. Bought that around the same time as Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Maybe the same day. I'm not sure. That's the Bad and Low Down World of the Kane Gang. Bet Yourself, Closest Thing to Heaven. Fame! It's not got Fame, I'm going to live forever on it. It's Kids from Fame. And again, one of my early records, as you can probably tell. Kids from Fame. Another early one. Killing Joke. This is the album with Love Like Blood on it. And I also liked 80s. It's called Nighttime, isn't it? Yeah, Nighttime. Now we're going way back. This is actually before my first pop cassette in 81. Some of my children's stuff has not been promoted to the main area, and some has, and this has. This is a Jungle Box. It's got good tunes on it. This is basically a sort of story version, but it has got the record, has got the songs on it, and includes the dialogue, which some of the Disney compilations don't include a dialogue in it, and I always want to hear the dialogue that's in Bare Necessities, you know what I mean? So that's still worthwhile. Two more Prince Protege albums. Well, this is actually Prince in disguise, like the other ones are, but these haven't got vocals on either. These are really good albums. I like these. Sort of jazz funk. This is Madhouse 8 and Madhouse 16. And now we come to probably my favourite band when I was younger. Dexys were very close. Dexys might have overtaken now, but this is an original vinyl, but obviously I was 8, so it wasn't when I first got Unity on that as well, didn't I? That's Madness One Step Beyond. So that's the only version I've got of that. I would have got it probably 83, 84 maybe. This one I had on cassette. I think probably originally a bootleg cassette. Yeah, it was. It was a bootleg cassette. Next one was bootleg cassette. So I bought this. Then I got it on CD as always. But then I bought the Union Square reissue. And they have good sleeve notes on them, all these Union Square reissues. So you'll see them again. This is Madness 7. Again, I had this on bootleg cassette. It's got the wrong version of Shut Up on it, though, this vinyl. It's got the 7-inch version, and it should have the album version. That's the version I thought was on it. That's the version I had on the CD, I'm sure. And again, this was a bootleg cassette, then a CD. So I got that for the first time on vinyl. This was one of my first... This is my first Madness record. I was so excited about this. I saved up for ages. My dad had to bring it home from work. Got played to death. Complete madness. And then the following Christmas, I got this one, which is The Rise and Fall. This obviously was a bit more of a grower for me when I was 11, but it grew on me and I really liked it. So that's The Rise and Fall. It's a bit more grown up. And I wasn't going to buy albums again. But as I said before, I am liking the sleeve notes on these Union Square ones. So I saw this at a reasonable price at a record fair. And I got it. So I've got this one twice. That's Rise and Fall, the new reissue version. This is a Canadian album. It was released in America as well. When they had their American hit with Our House, they released this in America and Canada. I don't know if it's anywhere else. It's basically a compilation of recent stuff and tracks from Rise and Fall. It's got the 7-inch versions, and Nightboat to Cairo sounds different to me. But yeah. So, but other than that, Nightboat to Cairo is the only early one that's on here. Everything else, the most early one other than Nightboat to Cairo is Shut Up, I think. Yeah. It's got the singles from 7. Hasn't got Driving in My Car on it because they never really liked that one. And then all the singles up to Rise and Fall and album tracks from Rise and Fall. This is my original Keep Moving from early 84. You'll see this again now. This I got from a record fair very recently, and I spent too much money on it, but I really wanted it because it's. I remember this coming out at the time. I remember it being advertised in the fan club. It's a different track listing because it's the American track listing, and I really wanted it. I didn't get it at the time, and I walked away from this at first saying, no, it's too expensive, don't get it, and then I got it. So, as a picture disc. And this I got before the picture disc, but it's the reissue, the Union Square reissue, and it was very cheap. So I thought, I buy magazines that I don't read properly. It wasn't much different to a magazine that I don't read. This is my original Mad Not Mad. I was very keen on that album at the time. And this is the reissue again, the Union Square reissue. This is Utter Madness, which isn't mine. My brother-in-law gave it to me because it was kind of like the only gap in my collection. And I said, can I borrow it for a bit? And then he gave it to me, which is very kind of him. This is a Record Store Day, not bought on Record Store Day, bought a bit later, but it was still around. This is I Do Like to Be Beside the A-Side, Volume 2. Volume 1 I missed. I would really like to have it, but it's ridiculously expensive now. It was before I was collecting records, which is part 1. Basically, this is the B-sides from Driving in My Car through to Waiting for the Ghost Train, which is kind of my era a little bit more, to be honest. So I was quite very fond of the B-sides of this era. Hasn't got the 12-inch B-sides on it. I'm hoping for a Volume 4, which collects all them, because if you include those and the Work Western Play EP, got another album. This is one of my favorite albums. Madness themselves don't like it very much, and they say so in the sleeve notes. It's a bad period for them, really. It's only 4 of them, but I loved this at the time. I had it on cassette. This is the cassette era, and then got it on CD as well. But this is now I've got it on record. That's a Union Square reissue of that, and I haven't got the next 2 records because I was never fond of them, but I did like Liberty of Norton Folgate. So I've got that one that's recently been reissued, and it's got all the extra tracks on side 4. So yeah, so there you go. That's part 2. Now if we another childhood one, this is almost been about 6 or something when this, but I listen to this all the time. This is Dougal and the Blue Cat, and I recently got the DVD. Well, not recently, 10, 12 years ago, and saw the visuals that accompany this record for the first time. Mind blowing. So yeah, I'm very fond of that. So that's why that's still in the proper collection. I think this might be scratched, this one, if I remember rightly, but this is Legend. Bought at the time. Bob Marley and the Wailers. I really liked One Love when that was reissued. This was also bought at the time. Matt Bianco. The sticker. I always used to get the stickers off, so you'll find they don't have stickers, but this one I could never get off. So you got a warp sticker on there. So that's their debut album. This I really wanted to get as one of my first records when I started collecting the records again. I had them kind of like my own Kylie compilation, my 20 favourites. But I fancied getting... It's got Confide in Me on it. It's got some of my favourites on there. Better the Devil You Know. This is one of the first ones I bought on record in 2020. These are... what are they called? On this one, isn't it? Yeah. Run Out Groove reissues of the Monkees' first album, which has another disc with it, a bonus disc. It's got good sleeve notes as well, explaining what everything is. Nice little package. Then we've got the follow-up album, More of the Monkees. This was an experiment in buying old records that were secondhand. This wasn't good quality at all, but I fancied getting it at that point in time in the record shop. The mono. I think it's a mono British headquarters, I think. And it's very, very crunchy sounding. This is a reissue. This is the Monkey's Head. So an incomplete Monkeys collection at the moment. And I've also got this, which isn't really the Monkeys. It's Mike and Mickey. But I saw this at the record fair recently, and I picked it up. It's rather good. This is pre-Chart Show 81. This is the Muppet Show album, but it's well worth being in the higher echelons of the record collection. And here is Muppet Show 2. This is from the indie period. My Bloody Valentine. Is it just called My Bloody Valentine? I really like Feed Me With Your Kiss. So that's why I bought that one. This is a bit atypical, really. Oh, there's a sticker on that one as well. This is Napalm Death Scum. Briefly, John Peel influence again, really. I got into music. It was a very, very passing phase. This is final. Well, actually, he gave me some 7-inches as well, but this is the final 12-inch vinyl that Ian Lee kindly gave me. Mike Nesmith on the other side has got nipples, so I won't show that on YouTube. But there you go, gorgeous little picture disc. That's a live one, and I bought this one myself. This is I had it on CD already, but I fancied it getting it on vinyl because it also has Rio on it, which isn't on the CD version. That's a lovely little live album. This is the Nutty Boys Crunch. They later on decided they were called Crunch and not the Nut, and the album was called the Nutty Boys, but at the time it was the Nutty Boys. I bought this at the time, which would be 1990. So I was still buying the occasional record, but mostly cassettes then. This is bought at the time. Not a friend. Somebody saw me buying this in the record shop in Amersham. And they took the piss out of me because it's got roses on it. It's got roses on it. Then later on, he realised he actually liked New Order, and he said I was actually cool. So, head of a curve, Anyway, that's Power, Corruption and Lies, in case you didn't know, New Order. It's bought at the time as well. This is the mini album, 6 songs by Orange Juice, Texas Fever. Bridge, I loved off this. I think I got this because I had the What Presents single, and it had a dub of A Place in My Heart. And I like that. And this had A Place in My Heart in it. And then Bridge, which I kind of knew, I think, already. I really liked. And I've got a compilation of theirs as well. It doesn't have the early postcard stuff on it, but it's a good compilation. It's called In a Nutshell. Here's my Parliament collection, like Funkadelic, but this is incomplete because their stuff isn't available on vinyl yet, really. So that's their first album, Osmium. There's the second album, Up for the Downstroke. Everybody get up. And this I got from the record fair recently. It's secondhand. It's not the best quality, but I wanted to get some more Parliament vinyl, so I gave him my pennies. So that's Parliament Live. So that's all the Parliament ones I can get at the moment. Now into Pet Shop Boys. They were cassette era originally for me. I had this one on bootleg as well. Pet Shop Boys Please. That's the first album. So I've been getting all these reissues. Pet Shop Boys Actually. And then obviously became CD. Introspective. Behavior. Berry. Bilingual. Nightlife. Release. Go away from the reissues here. The Disco 3, which I decided to buy on vinyl during my noughties vinyl period. It's basically, I think it had extra tracks on it and extra remixes and stuff. So I got that on vinyl, which apparently is quite rare now. Back to the reissues. This is Fundamental. Then we're missing one. If your Pet Shop Boys fans will notice, there's 2 missing from my Pet Shop Boys collection. Yes, which isn't a favourite of mine and is about 30 quid at the moment, so I'm waiting to see if that comes down. That's Elysium. Then we got Electric. And then, that makes a TV go funny. And then we're missing the next one, which is Super. And then it's Hot Shot. And then I had to get this. I'd use Klarna to get it cheaper, to get it pay it off over 3, but I just had to get this. I remember regretting not getting pop art on vinyl when I saw it in the noughties. So this is Smash. This is all their records, all their singles from the first in 85 through to 2020. It's gorgeous. There you go. That's part 3. We're down to P's. Right. This represents the Pogues, because I used to like the Pogues. Their cassette era. That's the best of the Pogues. Now into Prince, another of my favourites. So, found this recently in the local record shop, because recently moved. That's for you. Got this in the record shop in Weston-super-Mare. I've got Prince all over the place for some reason. That's the second album, Prince. There's Dirty Mind. Got this at a record fair just the other week. Controversy. This is an original album. Again, it was of my sister's, and her husband also had it. So I've inherited my sister's because she didn't treat hers as well as my brother-in-law treated his. So I haven't yet replaced this. It is a bit scratched and buggery, but one of my favourite Prince albums actually. That's 1999. This I didn't ask. This is what I asked for as a birthday present. I didn't ask for the picture disc, but that's what I got. So at the moment, the only Purple Rain I've got is this picture disc, which is very nice. I might still buy the original vinyl at some point. This is Around the World in a Day. Around the World in a Day. Parade. And Sign of the Times, which I never knew had that shiny thing. You see it there, can't you? I never knew until I got the record that it had shiny, because I got this on cassette. Yeah, we're talking cassette era. And then I got it on CD later. Then there's a gap, but soon being reissued, or not reissued already. Love Sexy, Come, and Graffiti Bridge, all 3 of which I want. Diamonds and Pearls is also coming out, but that was never a favourite of mine, so that'll be on the back burner. Then I got this on Record Store Day. This is The Gold Experience, with some extra tracks. And I got the last one nailed in the shop, and I rather upset somebody by buying it. But I wanted it too. I still feel slightly guilty about it, but I wanted it too. I don't know if he wanted it more than me. He might have just sold it on. But I wanted it, so I got it. But anyways, that's A Gold Experience. It's just kind of like the last Prince album that I properly liked, if you know what I mean. I kind of went off the boil with Prince. Prince fans say that he was always consistent, and he probably was. I think it's more me, but I lost interest a bit in Prince after that. Prince Buster, Fabulous Greatest Hits. I got this in the 80s. Knowing about, you'll see there's quite a few ska related albums and things, so I wanted that. Now it's a reissue. This is CD era. Pulp, Different Class. And Pulp, This Is Hardcore. This has got some B-sides on it as well. This is From the Time. This is the 80s. Roman Holiday, Cooking on the Roof. This is a reissue. This is Kevin Rowland, My Beauty. It's a record store one as well, actually. So it's got that vinyl. There you go. Ooh. That vinyl. His first album hasn't been reissued yet. It will be one day. This is, I got this the same day I got the goodies from a car boot before records got really expensive everywhere. So that's the Dexys Sale comedy album. This is From the Time in the 80s. The Shell Shocked, the Texas Campfire Tapes. That's from the late 80s. I think that was bought in HMV again in London. This is actually recent. This is Shreddy Waddy Gold. But actually my first pop cassette that wasn't a compilation was the very best of Shreddy Waddy that I chose. So I have a soft spot for Shreddy Waddy. And I listened to this record only recently, so I still like Shreddy Waddy. This is the Smiths. Hatful of Hollow. And probably my favourite album of theirs was this one, which is Meter's Murder. Influenced me to become a vegetarian for quite a while. I was a vegetarian for about 17 years. We've got some Sonic Youth here. What did I have? This is the only one I got on vinyl. I think I had the others on. I had a few other albums on cassette, so this is the only one that's on vinyl. This is brought up a time again, so late 80s, something like that. This is early 80s, Spear of Destiny, One-Eyed Jacks. I really like Liberator. Don't know where I heard it. I liberate, I liberate, I liberate. This is bought in the 80s, but obviously not when it originally came out. So I'm a bit young again. So that's the Specials. First album. That's the Specials' second album. This one I did buy when it came out, and is one of my favourite albums. Special AKA in the studio. There has been a reissue of this. I have been tempted to get that, but I haven't got it yet. And this one I got recently, and I thought, should I get it? Because I've got, as you see, I've got those special albums. But I did, and I enjoyed listening to it. It has got some extra tracks on it that I haven't got as well, different versions. But that is a compilation. The best of the specials includes the special AKA stuff as well. This I've got recently. It's secondhand, and it's in good nick. Half this album, as people will know, is produced and written by the Pet Shop Boys. So that's Busty Springfield. This I bought at the time. Shaky, give me your heart tonight. And Bop Bop Boppity Bop, don't forget this. This album I bunked off school to listen to because I knew I was getting it for Christmas. I got in trouble for it. This is Stump Quirk Out. So this is 86, isn't it? 88? I don't know. 86, yeah. 86. One of my favourite albums. It's a mini album. This is a recent one. Loved Star Council, but the only album I've got of theirs on vinyl is this one. I would really like to get Cafe Bleu in particular on vinyl, but I haven't got it yet. This I've got recently. This is an HMV one, but it was at the record fair. So this is Sugar Cubes, Life's Too Good. Ooh. That goes a bit weird on my camera. I don't know if it will be on YouTube, but it goes weird on my camera. That's strange. Anyway, that's Life's Too Good. I had that on cassette back in the day. This I had before the pop music. Carnival of the Animals with narration by Ogden Nash, a bit of classical there. This I also had before. It's Sesame Street Fever. It's a classic. Every home should have this. Sesame Street Fever. Another reissue now. This is the Super Furry Animals Gorilla reissue. I was a bit late getting into Super Furry Animals, so I got this from the record library. I think Rings Around the World was my entry point really with Super Furry Animals. But this is one of my favourite albums of theirs. This is aforesaid Rings Around the World, the vinyl reissue. And this is a record store day, which is still available everywhere. But yeah, this is one of my favourites. So if you get this one, there's so many quirky things on the vinyl, like things that don't lift. And they put a real effort into their records, Super Furry Animals. Another two vinyl reissues from the CD era, one of my favourite bands. Teenage Fan Club 13. Haven't got Grand Prix yet. These are my two favourites. 13 is my favourite. And this is Grand Prix, or Grand Prix. This is the Thrills. So Much for the City. This is another record store day release, which means it must have a cool colour, surely. Yeah, it does. Red. Red. Oh, I didn't show you the colour of the Prince one, did I? That was gold. Unsurprisingly, for the gold experience. I've seen people do unboxing. They don't bother putting them back in. You just leave them out. It speeds up the process, you see. Yeah, I've really slowed down the process there. Right. Back to going to HMV and collecting Prince Protégé albums. The time. What time is it? Ice Cream Castle, sorry. The fourth album I had on cassettes. I don't have that on vinyl or CD yet, so I'd love to get it. This is bought at the time. UB40, Jeffrey Morgan. I liked If It Happens Again, if I remember rightly. So I bought that album. It wasn't a favourite. This again is my sister's. They had two copies. Husband also had a copy. I went and took this one away. Ultravox, the collection. This I bought at the time. The Wild Child, The Untouchables. Look! Oh, amazing. I love that album. Free Yourself, things like that on it. This was bought for me recently. This is US United Soul, music with Funkadelics, a kind of Funkadelic adjunct. Another Prince Protégé, Vanity 6. The Wombos, remember your Wombo. Wombling Chris, Womble's Christmas Party. That's what I'm trying to say. Womble's Christmas Party. And Songs in the Key of Life, Stevie Wonder. And that concludes the original artists. Before we get into the good stuff, here's my old children's albums that aren't in the select alphabetical section. Piggy Perky. Covered over the dodgy bit. Noddy. Oh, this is cool. Top of the Tots. That's cover versions of songs from the early 70s. This is my sister's. Rupert and the Firebird. I think this was my sister's as well. Might not have been. The Railway Stories, Volume 1. Larry the Lamb in Toy Town. These are coloured vinyl as well, actually. Hans Christian Andersen. Well, this coloured vinyl. This is my first ever coloured vinyl. Ooh. These are coloured as well. I think these are shared between me and my sister. These story records. Hans Christian Andersen again. 4 traditional fairy tales. The Brothers Grimm. And the comedy album, The Barren Nights, Nights of Laughter. There you go, that's that section. Now the compilation section is not complete because I'm sure there's other ones. There's Communicate, I remember having Happy Families, which is the reggae compilation. Communicate was a live indie type album. This isn't complete, there's some more hiding somewhere. This is one I bought recently. I wanted to get it. Quite cheap. Absolute Beginners compilation. This I bought at the time. Ugh. My first box set. Atlantic Rhythm and Blues, 1947 to 74. I think it was from one of those like record club things that you had that came in magazines. And there you go. Rather good compilation. Oh, Back to Minds. I love the Back to Minds CD compilations, and some of them came out on vinyl as well, unmixed, and I got some of them on vinyl. I got this one, MJ Cole, his compilation. He's a triple vinyl. Calvin Sings one. The Orb. And Orbital. There's a lot of, there's quite a lot of sort of techno stuff that isn't in the collection because I've not got it on vinyl and stuff. Orbital. This I've got recently. It's too expensive. This is the Best of Bond. All the Bond themes on vinyl. This is the original. It's been reissued recently, but I haven't got the reissue. This is the original Dance Craze album. I would have got that in mid-80s again. This was a magazine. The magazine's now gone. It was in the middle of the magazine, but it's a magazine that also had a record with it called Debut. And got Special AK Bright Lights. I think I heard that on here first before I got the record that was on. This is one of my mum's records that I've kind of purloined, and they don't have their records out now, so it stayed with me. So, favorite piano music. And in contrast, here's Hardcore Holocaust, 87 to 88 sessions. That's lots of those thrashy speed metal bands of the late 80s. This is The House Sound of Chicago, Volume 2. I got this mainly for What's Up Rocky, Boris Batanoff. What's up, Rocky? And then Massive, an album of reggae hits. These are all from the era, all 80s. And this are Two Tone, again from the 80s. Looks like the compilation was 83, but I definitely didn't buy it in 83. It would have been a bit later, I think. So there you go. That's them. I won't show you the 7-inches because that is incomplete, very incomplete. Are we still connected? Yeah. So we'll end with the 12 inches. 7 inches is the stuff I got missing the most. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video of all my 7 inches if you're lucky. This is Age of Chance, Kiss. This is Aphex Twin Analog Bubble Bath something or other. Analog Bubble Bath Volume 3. And these are the AFX Analog collection, which I collected in the mid-noughties, wasn't it? Mid-noughties. So that's Analog 10, which was actually the first one. Then you've got Analord 1. Analord 2. So these are all 12-inch EPs, essentially. These are now all available online with extra tracks. Analord 3. Analord 4. Analord 5, but it hasn't got a sticker. Oh, they don't have stickers from this point on, do they? Analord 6. Analord 7. Analord 8. You can guess where this is going, can't you? Analord 9. Analord 11, because I've already done Analord 10. That was first. Then we've got a LFO AFX 12-inch, which I must have ordered off Warp or something. Then we've got 12 inches of the time still. These will be of the time. I haven't bought any 12. Oh, no, there's a couple of reissues, but they're mostly of the time, these. Eric B. and Rakim, Paid in Full, the Cold Cut remix. Beats International, Burundi Blues. What's this? Oh, this is Bjork. I don't actually remember buying this, but I've got it. A 12-inch of All Is Full of Love. This is a 10-inch. This is the Boo Radleys, Free Huey. Free Huey. Again, I have no idea where I got that, because I was buying CDs at that point, but there you go, I did. This is Ciccone Youth, Into the Groovy. Elvis Costello, Veronica. Kid Creole and the Coconuts, The Sex of It. Ivor Cutler, Peel Sessions. Tina Easton, 101. This next one's from a car boot. Eighth Wonder, I'm Not Scared. EPMD, Strictly Business. Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Two Tribes. That's the all different mixes, weren't they? Where does it say what the mix is? Carnage mix. My sister had the first one. I think this was the second 12-inch that came out. A guy called Gerald, Voodoo Ray. Not the original, I think, but it was... Here's a Mary Chain, Happy When It Rains. Jesus and Mary Chain, Darklands. Jesus and Mary Chain, Sidewalking. Jesus and Mary Chain, Blues from a Gun. It's the only thing I've got from Joe Boxers for the second era when they look different. Called Is This Really the First Time You've Been in Love? If the album came out, I missed it. Kane Gang, Respect Yourself. Not the Bruce Willis version. Madness, The Peel Sessions. Another Canadian 12-inch. Our House, Canadian. Sun in the Rain, 12-inch. One Better Day, 12-inch. Waiting for the Ghost Train, 12-inch. I Pronounce You, 12-inch. What's that 12-inch? New Order, Blue Monday, 12-inch. I Help Them Lose Money. These were bought in HMV a bit later. So this is the 12-inch of When Doves Cry, Prince. This is the 12-inch of Let's Go Crazy. This would probably be late 80s when I was buying the Prodigy, those ones from HMV. These would also be bought from HMV. America. This one is from the time. This is Glam Slam at Alphabet Street on... If there's anything missing here, it's on 7-inch, basically. This is Party Man, 12-inch, and then I bought another Party Man 12-inch. This is the Party Man Purple Party Mix. Another mixes. Then we've got another Prince 12-inch, The Arms of Orion. And the Scandalous Sex Suite, which is rather good. Then this is a Dutch 12-inch. I got it when I was in Holland. This is The Future, Electric Chair. These in the Temple 12-inch. And I think this is an import. I think this might be an American import. This is Prince, New Power Generation. This Pet Shop Boys, Love's Comes Quickly, that my friend bought me for my birthday. First Pet Shop Boys single I had. This is the Pixies, Monkey Gone to Heaven. The Pixies, Here Comes Your Man. Starvation by Starvation. This is the debut Stomp EP, which I bought after Quirk Out. That's Mud on a Colon. Sugar Cube's Birthday. Sugar Cube's Deus. And the only reissue, this is from Record Store Day. This is, but I didn't get it. I got it off Amazon. This is Super Furry Annuals Ice Hockey Hair. So there you go. That's nearly an hour. I think that's enough for anyone, isn't it? But I hope that was... Hello again. I'll look at the camera. No, don't look at the camera because that always looks weird. But I'm sort of looking... it's up there, the camera. Anyway, that's a good rambling start. I'll add a bit of text to this bit as well. Anyway, it's 4 months later. I've just been added text to the beginning bits. As I said in there, I'll tell you where the records are that are hidden. Basically, when we moved down from the south, moved up then, Removal Man was meant to look in our storage unit. And I said the storage unit is absolutely full of stuff. I explained how full of stuff it was. But they weren't expecting it to be quite so heavy. So half our stuff has not come up here. And they're not charging us for it. But we might still be charged if they need to bring the rest of it up. But less than it would if it's a normal thing. So that is stuck in... what's this volume? That is stuck in... back where we used to live in Buckinghamshire. So, and I've been through all the boxes upstairs now that we have here. And they don't include any more records. So the remaining compilations and most of the 7 inches are in a box somewhere in Buckinghamshire. But since August, the end of August when I recorded that video, I bought some more records. And I thought I'd just update you what they are. A lot of them are ones I talked about and saying, oh, I hope I get to complete the collection. I'm recording this 4 days after Christmas, 23. A lot of these are Christmas presents, which I've not listened to yet. This is one of them. This is the Fall Extricate. So I've got some more Fall now. The Fall, the Infotainment Scan. Oh, I missed one. I've got to get another record from over there. I just remembered what I missed. I thought I wasn't going to get all the Pet Shop Boys albums because this one is ridiculously expensive. But the person who bought this likes to get things to a certain amount of money. So I've got this one as well now. So I've now got a complete Pet Shop Boys studio albums collection. And I've forgotten another one as well. So I'll go and get that as well. Hang on. I've also got this one. Pet Shop Boys Relentless, which has just come out. It was had this on CD when it came out. It was a bonus LP of mixes that came out with Very. And they've just released it on vinyl. And it is yellow vinyl. And the full one that I just showed you is clear vinyl. Clear vinyl. A lot of these are coloured. So yeah, so Fall, Pet Shop Boys Relentless. And then we go on to the Christmas, which is Yes. And Super. And I just listened to this one today. And it sticks. It jumps. The last one jumps. I also mentioned on the previous video, I wanted to get a load of Prince records, which I've just got for Christmas. This one I didn't get for Christmas, but we always have an after Christmas present. This is actually the Prince album I wanted most. Love Sexy. So I've got Love Sexy. Got Batman. Got Graffiti Bridge. And finally, Come. So so basically it's complete up to Graffiti Bridge now. Diamonds and Pearls, as you probably know, as you might know, has come out recently. But I'm not keen on that album, so I'm not rushing to get that. Then we go to S's. This is a Vinyl Club reissue. It is S Club 7's Greatest Hits. So on picture disc, because I am cool. So I've got that. This one I had to wait for ages for, and another record I ordered with it held this one up. This is meant to come out in September. Eventually came out in December, a few weeks ago. So I paid for it in September, and it came 3 months later. But this is Soft Cell Non-Stop Erotic Cabaret. New reissue. It's got a load of B-sides on the second disc. And it's in yellow and blue, I think. Yeah, yellow. And blue. Da 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 da. Blue. And then we've got this little beauty. Soup Dragons, their early singles. This just came up on my Twitter feed on the cheap vinyl, because it comes up as cheap vinyl. It's red as well. Cheap vinyl things come up, and I thought, oh, I love the early Soup Dragons, and I've never had Can't Take No More. Well, I did have Can't Take No More because I don't think that's on CD, but I had Hang 10 on CD. Soft as Your Face, I had them on various things, but I always, got them all together. Onto that. This is Alexis Strum, who's an artist whose records were not released at the time, and she was when I was on, I still on Twitch, and Alexis Strum was on Twitch during the lockdown, and she did a tweet recently, and suddenly her old stuff has been released, and this is a beautiful album. First album's good as well, but this is my favourite, and the extra stuff that's on the full-length CD or streaming version is really good as well. And this is also on vinyl. It's signed as well, and I went for the white one. There's a purple one as well, but I went for the white one. So that's Alexis Strum's Cocoon. Teenage Fan Club. I have now got Bandwagonist. That came out on a sort of record store day 90s thing recently. Oh, that's the other one I've got to get that I've not got out yet. Not this, but yeah. It's a compilation, basically. I forgot to look at the compilations. So that's yellow. And that's wasn't that good quality, I thought, this vinyl. I'm not a quality fiend, but I thought this didn't sound as dynamic as the other Teenage Fan Clubs. This is Tom Waits. This is the album I had to wait 3 months for because of a soft sell one. This is gold vinyl. I would like to get... it's all browny gold. I would like to get the Rain Dogs as well, but this is my favourite Tom Waits album by far. I think this album's genius. And finally, for the artists, I've got a wedding present. This is the 7 inches. So the 7-inch collection in 1992. So the A-sides on record 1 and the B-sides on record 2. And I've got one more album to show you, I think. Don't think there's any more. I'll just quickly check. No, just this one. Which I also got the same day I got the Teenage Fan Club Bandwagonesque, because this is also released on my 90s record day. This is a compilation called Help, which had lots of artists. When was this out? When was this released? Mid-90s sometime, not sure. And these are also coloured, sort of browny red, mottled. And that concludes our little fun experiment. I will now upload this video and maybe edit it down. I edited the ending of the other one because that went on for ages. You go, which I'm now doing now, so I'll stop. Bye-bye. One day, we will get our 7 inches and I'll show you them, but not for a while. Bye-bye.